Okay, so today we're talking about the standard form of a linear equation. If you recall from previous lessons, we've been looking at this form, the y equals mx plus b. That form is called the slope-intercept form. But this form is not the only form of a linear equation that exists. You can also have an equation where both of the variables are on one side set equal to some sort of number. All right, and that's what this little statement up here is saying, that ax plus by equal to c. A, b, and c are just numbers, but this is another way you can write a linear equation. So an example of that, of what that would look like with numbers in it, is over here on the right. 3x plus 4y equals 8. Notice you have your y's and your x on the left, and it's equal to some number on the right. Okay? Now, in this form, in the standard form, we can't very easily pick off what is the slope and what is the y-intercept. That's why we have the y equals mx plus b form. All right? So whenever you get a linear equation in this form and you want to know what the slope and y-intercept is, the easiest way to do that is to solve for y so that we can get it into this y equals mx plus b form. All right? So down here in these examples, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're giving some other form of a linear equation. It's not in slope-intercept form, and the goal is to put it into slope-intercept form. So whenever we do that, you need to think of it sort of like those literal equations that we did a while back. And the goal is to solve for y, all right? Because this form has y equals something times x plus some other number. Our goal down here is to get y by itself. So we have to do what we did with literal equations. We have to get rid of this 3x, just like as if we were trying to solve an equation. So that's a positive 3x, so if I want to get rid of it, I have to subtract 3x. Remember, again, what you do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do on the other, so you have to subtract 3x over here as well. So 3x minus 3x goes away, and on this side we're left with 4y, and that's equal to, notice 8 and negative 3x are not like terms. They don't both have an x in them. So whenever you don't have like terms like that, you just sort of tack this on the other side. I'm also going to put the x first, because in the slope-intercept form, the x part is first there. So let's put it in that form so it's like that. So this is negative 3x, and then that's a positive 8, so we're just going to add 8 to it. All right? The final step to get it to slope-intercept is to divide both sides by 4. Now remember, when you're dividing over here by 4, since these are two separate terms, you have to divide 4 into both of those terms. So this will be divided by 4, this will be divided by 4. Or you can put one big line and divide by 4 like that. Notice 3 over 4 doesn't reduce, so we can leave that as negative 3/4 x. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2. So our standard form for this equation is y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 2. Okay? Take a second and see if you can do the next two on your own. Put them into this y equals mx plus b form, pause the video, and then come back and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so goal is to get y by itself here. Notice the only other thing that's over here with y is this negative 5. So if I want to get it by itself, I'll add 5 to both sides. Notice minus 5 plus 5 will cancel, and that leaves you with y is equal to 2x plus 5. Notice this is in that form. That's the only step we have to do. So that's the final form. All right. Now notice over here, the goal is to get y by itself, but we also have this parentheses over here that's not in this that standard form. All right. So what we need to do is get rid of the parentheses first. So we have to distribute that 4 by multiplying it across both terms inside the parentheses. So we're left with negative 3y is equal to 4 times 3 is 12, and then 4 times a negative 2x is negative 8x. Also notice that I like in the slope-intercept form, the x is first, so I'm just going to go ahead and move that x up to the front of the line. We'll take negative 8x, pull it up front, and push the 12 to the end. And you can do that as long as you keep the signs on both of them. Remember, we look to the left for those signs. Finally, to get y by itself, you have to divide both sides by negative 3. And that negative 3 has to go into every term in that equation. So that cancels out and leaves you with y. Negative divided by negative is going to make this term positive. 8 over 3 doesn't really simplify, so we will leave it as 8/3 x. And then positive 12 divided by negative 3 is a negative 4. So your slope-intercept form of that equation is y is equal to 8/3 x minus 4. If you have any questions, bring them to class.